Hi, everybody. John Michael here, as usual. Am I at a baseball game today? Just chilling out and eating some Cracker Jacks? Or am I faking it with stock sound effects? I guess I'll never know. Anyway, I had some questions about baseball and water for Tim Costello, Director of Business Development and the voice of the Texas AirHogs in Grand Prairie, Texas, so I went to the AirHogs Stadium to talk with him. We discussed the benefits of artificial turf versus grass, which, by the way, includes saving a ton of water. I also am very sad to announce that this will be my last episode of H2OMG. It's been a lot of fun, but it's time for me to move on. I'm recording this right before the AirHogs official open tryouts on April 27th. So by the time you hear this, the tryouts will be over and I'll more than likely be too busy with my new baseball job to have time to do this podcast. I'm assuming they'll make me the pitcher, because one time at an Astros game, I tested my pitching speed, and my fastball clocked in at a blistering 26 miles per hour. The AirHogs Stadium is really cool, so you should go see a game if you haven't already. You'll also hear Tim talk about all the other events that take place there, so if baseball isn't your thing, you'll still be able to find something that happens there that you're into. Check out their website at www.airhogsbaseball.com. A huge thanks to Tim Costello, the voice of the Texas AirHogs, for taking some time to talk with us, and to Matt Smith for setting this up. I also just want to say thanks for listening. Please remember to subscribe and tell your friends. And if you leave a 5-star review on iTunes, I might even wave at you from the pitching mound.
Hi, I am Tim Costello. I'm the Director of Business Development and the voice of your Texas AirHogs here in Grand Prairie, Texas.
That's good. I was actually wondering if you had a special voice that you do as the voice of the AirHogs, and that was it, right? Okay.
It was, yes.
Impressive. How did you get to be the voice of the AirHogs?
I have a degree in broadcasting from the University of Houston. I did some part-time things, an internship with the Sugarland Skeeters. It's another independent team in the Houston area, and luckily enough, our current general manager, JT Anya, was the assistant GM in Sugarland, and when he made his way over to Grand Prairie, he was looking to bring some new salespeople in with him, and I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to come up here and start my career with the AirHogs.
Oh, okay. I worked at the University of Houston for a little while, so it's a great
nice
campus.
School.
Yeah.
Wonderful facility.
Are you from Houston?
I am, yes.
Okay.
Some would say the Harvard of the South.
So, before I came over here, I looked up how much water a baseball field that uses regular grass uses, and it turns out it's 62,500 gallons of water per week. Right. And that's a lot of water. But you guys have artificial turf, so you save a lot of water compared to other
absolutely.
fields.
Last season, during the year, we used about 3,100 gallons of water a month versus the 62,500 used a week by major league teams. And realistically, that number will be less this year. Last season, we still had clay at home plate as well as the mound. So those were two spots that we had to water versus just the one this year. And the mound will probably take a little bit more water than home plate does, but that number, that 3,100 gallons per month, that should be a little higher than what we even used this year.
Yeah, oh, that's wonderful. So I know I'm wearing a baseball cap, but don't let that fool you because I don't actually know a whole lot about baseball. Why do you have to water the mound?
So as hot as it is out here in Texas, we use clay for the mound and for building the mound. And so a lot of times that clay will dry out and it becomes dirt. So you're not able to get the same footing. You're not able to dig into the mound the same way when it's real loose on the top level with too much dirt. Okay. So you want to make sure you keep it hydrated so that way it stays more intact as one solid clay feature as opposed to starting to have it turn into dirt and starting to shift around.
Away. Yeah. Because you have to keep it a certain height, right? Like
Absolutely.
A regulation height. Oh, okay.
There is a height for the mound, but also it's more of a safety issue too, where these guys that are pitching, there's so much torque and pressure put on their lower body that they're expecting their foot to stay in one place when they put pressure on that point. And if the mound's not properly taken care of, that's when you start to slide. That's when you start to see guys twist an ankle, or when they come to plant after throwing and their foot doesn't stick where they want it to and it slides. That's where guys can start to get hurt.
Oh, okay. What are some other, besides saving a ton of water, what are some other benefits of turf versus grass?
Number one is the multifunction aspect of things, right? Where we have a soccer team that plays at our facility, two soccer teams actually that play at our facility. We host multiple events out here. We do Easter egg hunts. We had a Taco Tequila and Cerveza festival last year that had luchador wrestlers wrestling on the field. All these
awesome.
things that, if you're using natural grass, when you're putting these things on your surface, you're afraid it's going to hurt your grass,
Sure.
damage your grass, things like that. So there's obviously the benefit of we can do more out here.
Yeah.
We can do more with less out here, but also it's the rain out, right? Everybody in baseball hates the idea of driving all the way up to the ballpark, paying your money for your ticket, and then right before that game's about to start, rain comes and you may get a ticket to another game, but can you come on that other game? Or there's so many variables that go into getting those people back out here. Well, with the AstroTurf, or it's not even AstroTurf, field turf nowadays, we don't have to cancel many ball games.
Yeah.
We have the innate ability of give us 15 minutes after a rain, and for the most part, unless it was Hurricane Harvey type stuff, we're going to be okay.
Yeah.
The drainage at our field is absolutely phenomenal. We would probably have, I'd say, better than some field, the grass field drainage, because of the way this turf slopes off the field.
Yeah.
It slopes to different points. Water really doesn't pool in certain areas that are on the playing surface.
Oh, okay. And so Matt took me down to the field, and I don't think I've ever been on like a real baseball field before. And from a distance, the brown turf just looked like dirt,
Sure.
and it just looks like grass. And there's definitely a huge difference in the feel of it. And so, I mean, I imagine they make it to where the ball and the players react the same, so they don't really notice too big of a difference between grass and turf when they're playing, right?
If you look at turf technology, really, it's really changed so much since the days of the first turf, which was AstroTurf in the Astrodome, when it really was essentially green carpet. It was that first AstroTurf with concrete underneath, and balls are taking high hops, and guys don't like playing on it because it hurts to slide and things like that. Well, this is going to be as close to feeling like grass nowadays as you can get.
Yeah.
The technology we have, there's actually these little rubber pellets that go in, that mix into the turf, that we actually have to spread around every so often to make sure that every bit of the turf has that same bounce to it, has the same reaction when you step on it. You're feeling a little bit of sponginess to it. If you actually get out there, you'll notice there's a difference between the brown turf and the green turf as far as the texture on your field. And that's a great thing for us now, because with our previous turf, it was different color, but you didn't have that different texture. So in baseball, when you see the perimeter of our field, it's all brown. That's what's called the warning track. And what that does is it warns a player that they're getting close to the wall. On professional fields with grass, that's dirt. So you feel the difference on your feet as you're running and looking up into the sky for a ball.
Yeah.
I've got 3 feet before I hit the wall.
Yeah.
With what we had, we didn't have that warning track. It looked like it. It gave the appearance of a warning track, but the texture wasn't there.
Oh no.
So now
So a lot of people running into walls.
that, or maybe they're not going back as hard as it could. There's a lot of different variables in
Sure.
it. But now, with what we have now, we have that perfect warning track, and we have 2 different types of turf that are going to play more realistic to a natural field.
Yeah.
Tightly mowed grass, you're going to have the ball coming in a little bit quicker, right? And then the friction of the dirt, that's what's going to slow down those ground balls. Got the same thing out here. A little bit thicker brown turf, so it's going to give it that more friction. And then that tight mowed green turf, the tight mowed grass, is going to be the hard hit ground balls.
Oh, okay.
So you may get a little bit more speed on your ground balls, a higher hop on a Texas chopper, things like that. But for the most part, as turf technology has grown, it's gotten more and more to the similarity of playing on natural grass.
My next question is, what's a Texas chopper?
That's a very a ball that's hit straight into the ground and goes straight up into the air, a high chopper.
So I heard that your swimming pool juts out into the outfield, and it was the inspiration for many major league teams that are doing that now. That's what I heard.
There's definitely some rumor out there that our swimming pool may have inspired some people, but I do think the Diamondbacks, when they opened their field in the early 2000s, were the first ones to have that swimming pool out there. That field opened in 2001, I believe. No, maybe a little bit earlier, because they won the World Series in 2001. So maybe 99, 2000 was when Chase Field opened, and that was probably the first major league facility to have that. But there is a swimming pool out here, yes. It is one of the best spots you can do your kid's birthday party. If you got a Boy Scout outing, if your little league team wrapped up and want to do an end of season party, it doesn't get much better than soaking up some rays in a pool, and all I gotta do is stick my glove up while still in a pool, and I have the chance of catching a home run. So,
well, that brings me to my most important question today: is how many home runs are hit into the pool?
That's a pretty big poke. It's one of the biggest home runs you can hit in the ballpark is to get it into the pool. Because not only do you have to get it that deep, it's a pretty tall wall. Then you got to get above the wall for the pool railing. So I'd say we get between 5 to 10 pool homers a year.
That's pretty good.
We get a lot of splashes in batting practice for sure. We'll send Matt out there. Typically last year we did with the skimmer to get the baseballs out of the bottom of the pool after BP. But
so you don't have to bring your shorts.
No, we allow him to skim it out. We don't want him to. Matt seems like the kind of guy he'd go in for a swim and just enjoy it way too much and not come out with the baseball. So we had to keep him on a short leash last season.
Does the turf get sticky from all the Gatorade that's dumped on coaches and players?
Oddly enough, we don't do a lot of the Gatorade dumps out this way. But realistically, no, not too much.
Well, Gatorade dumps waste water. They waste Gatorade anyway, so.
Right, and there's so much ice when you do those too. Like, you never have just Gatorade. There's going to be Gatorade and ice as hot as it is out here. If that was the case, hose it down. It's a quick little hose down process. We had maybe 3 or 4 Gatorade dumps last year. I think the main difference is at that major league level, the clubhouses might get those for free as a sponsorship from the sports drink companies, where at this point we're buying our own sports drink. So maybe we value the cost of that powdered drinks mix a little bit more and not willing to pour it out.
Sure.
But no, really at the end of the day, it's a quick little hose off and something like that, where one of the things that we're real strict out here about what we allow on the field. You can't chew seeds on our field. That's one of the main things that especially any high school team or anyone renting our facility, it's a $500 fine if you come in here and you chew seeds and spit on our field.
I was wondering about that.
There's not a mower that's going to chop. People are out there with their hands picking up someone else's chewed seeds. So when you have the turf field, some things like that, the peanuts, the sunflower seeds, things like that, we really keep those things away from our field. So it's not the Gatorade that we worry about as much, but more the shells, more than anything. Yeah,
that makes sense. Who's the AirHogs' biggest rival?
I would probably say right now it was once our sister team, Cleburne, the Railroaders, no longer owned by the same ownership group, but just because of the vicinity where we're only 40 minutes away from each other, there's definitely a natural rivalry there. I know in Cleburne's first season, the 2 mayors of Grand Prairie and Cleburne had made some bets on, the fun, put up your, apples. I'll put up apples. You put up whatever their bet was. I know that was something I looked at. But really, Cleburne would be one. And then, realistically in this league, everyone looks up to St. Paul, Minnesota. The Saints do a great job in this league as far as their promotions, their attendance. I wouldn't say that we have a rivalry with St. Paul, but I think everyone kind of looks at them as this is where we want to get to. This is our goal, not only as results on the field, but it's what we do in the front office as well. So it's not a rivalry as much as our goal, I think, of what we're trying to attain down the line.
Are there any events or special days coming up that you want to mention?
Yeah, first and foremost, our opening day is May 16th. One of the most exciting days of a baseball season is opening day. Hope springs eternal. Everybody has the same record for that one day. And so I absolutely love opening day. Ours last year was a huge success. This year should be even better. We partner with the nation of China to bring their Olympic baseball team over.
Oh, wow.
So we are actually the only team in the history of American baseball to ever feature their roster with a large portion of another national team.
Cool.
Last year was the first year it had ever been done. It was a lot of fun, and it was really cool to be historic in a game that's been around for so long. Baseball's been played over 120 years, really, and there's not many opportunities to be the first one to do something in a game that's that old and in a game where people respect the history of it that much. And so for us to literally say we are the first ones who ever did this last year, it was a really cool, not only a feather in our cap, but just for the fans to say, I was a part of that. Yeah. Baseball is one of those sports where being there matters. It's just something about, there's a difference of, I watched that game on TV versus I was there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now any one of our fans last year can say, I was there for something historic in the game of baseball.
Yeah.
But then also, too, I do want to mention, we have tryouts coming up. One of the cool things about the AirHogs is if you think you could make this team, you literally have a chance to put your money where your mouth is and come on out. April 27th at 9 a.m., You can register online, airhogsbaseball.com, and register for our tryouts. And we get people from tryouts every single season. We had 2 of our bullpen pitchers last year, Tim Costello and the second name's not coming to me at the moment. But anyway, we had 2 guys that made our initial roster.
Yeah.
One of them stuck around the entire season, was our setup guy. The guy, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, came from tryouts. So
Cool.
It's not like we do this just to make money.
Yeah.
You know, this is an opportunity for people who played college ball, who played minor league baseball. Things didn't go the way you wanted to, but you know deep down you still have got it. Log on, register, come on out. We'd love to see, what the talent level is out there.
Yeah.
And then last and certainly not least, though, the AirHogs partner with Irving FC. It's a USPL soccer team. We have all their home games are played at our facility. It's almost every other Saturday night, or most Saturday nights we have them out here. So 4/27, Saturday the 27th, 7 o'clock, they will be out here. And then Friday, May 3rd, we'll have another soccer game out here, Irving FC, at 7 o'clock. So we are a baseball stadium, but we kind of look at ourselves as a convention center that happens to have a baseball field.
Yeah.
If you want to do something out here with us, we can find a way to make it happen, whether
Cool.
it's baseball, football. You want to play a rugby game out here, we'll find a way to do that for you.
Well, I'll see you guys on April 27th at 9 a.m. for the tryouts. I'm
Tryout,
gonna come.
absolutely, yeah.
I think I played one baseball game in my life when I was probably like 8 or 9.
Okay.
And I saw a kid throw up, and I used to be deathly afraid of throwing up.
Mm-hmm.
And I told my mom that I wanted to quit.
Okay.
That's how I remember it anyway. Maybe
Sure.
my mom is remembers it differently.
Mhm.
But I can ask her.
Probably
when
because she
she's-
paid for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she paid for the glove and everything. Did you have anything else that you wanted to touch on, or? Anything
I
else you
do
can
want to
think
say
of?
that we have, we're lucky enough this season we partnered with Biz TV Texas. They are a local television channel available to everyone through the rabbit ear antenna.
Okay.
This season they currently are channel 55.6, so all of our Saturday home games as well as opening day and the 4th of July will be available on channel 55.6 this season. So it's going to
Cool.
be 10 ball games for our fans to have an opportunity to watch at home.
Great.
And we are really, really excited about that because it's a huge step up for us as a ball club to be able to have those fans. And not only fans, but our sponsors, too. Anyone who does something at the ballpark this season, it's not only available to the people here, it's going to be available across the DFW Metroplex.
Oh, okay. I think that's everything. Thank you very much
Yeah,
for
my
taking the
pleasure.
time to do this.
I enjoyed it. I look forward to tuning in, learning more about the water that I drink.